Welcome to the Business Buyer Diaries. My name is Nathan Platter. I'm a full-time employee, and I bought a business. I did everything right, from finding the deal, handling all the due diligence on 63 opportunities, and ultimately bought a profitable gym. And boy was I in for a big surprise as a new owner. I chronicled everything in real time, including the biggest wins to the stressful nights at 2 a.m. I'm sharing my journey without sugarcoating anything, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Here's today's episode.
That's the positive news from work that the bonus is happening. It's getting paid out. They declared the values and the amounts coming out, and it was a lot more than I thought. It was pretty much double of what I was anticipating it would be. Pretty cool. And so now that I'm looking around and seeing like, okay, I have this influx of cash coming into my bank. What am I going to do with it? And the jerk reaction, of course, what am I going to spend it on? By someone down the street from where I live, I don't know how he pulled it off. I really don't. Oh, but he got him, like probably 6 months ago, he got him Ford Raptor. I used one. It's a used one, so it's not a brand spanking new Raptor, but a very nice pickup. And I drive a very basic F-150. When I say basic, it's got rust on it, over 100,000 miles, 10 years old, but chugs along just fine. And part of it's like, oh, nice. I don't want to keep up with them. I want to keep pace. Maybe a third vehicle, maybe a summer driver. But then I'm like, no, I'm good. Buying another vehicle is not going to get me where I want to be. So I was like, well, but the business lately, like, I've been down a little bit because of the ups and downs of owning a business and the payments and all that. Maybe I can pay off some debt. I got some student loans I could pay off, but there are benefits for not paying it off. Literally, the government is giving benefits to people no matter what they make. They're like, hey, you still have a student loan balance. We're going to give you free money because you must need it, which is a terrible idea. Which, for the record, throwing cash at an issue rarely fixes the issue. That's a great rule of thumb. Money in a problem rarely fixes the root problem. But that's another conversation. Like, all right, should I pay off some student loan debt? Like, no, that's not going to catapult me closer to where I want to be. And so at the end of the day, having to zoom out and realize, okay, where are we today? Where are we trying to go? What's the direction? Where will this cash increase the odds that we'll get closer to that destination or keep that journey momentum alive? And paying off debt does not do it. Putting it towards a new vehicle does not do it. Putting it towards the down payment of a future house does not do it. Although that would be nice. Having a little bit more elbow room and space in our home would be nice. But that does not do it. And I think right now it's having more cash handy for the good times and the bad times. For both us personally and the business. Right now, folks guys, it's crazy right now. January of 24. I'm curious how the next year is going to play out. This is a crazy year. The past 2 months, people have been talking about electromagnetic pulses, which basically means the bad guys can launch a small bomb and knock out the power grid in your local area or in like your 200 radius area. So people need to be getting like generators and solar panels so that if the power goes out, you can still charge and run your devices. Well, okay. Oh, that's valuable to know. People are also saying, hey, it's an election year. There's going to be some crazy stuff so that the current administration can get reelected, because when there's social unrest and social anxieties, people will usually go with what they currently have. They don't want to risk it with some new guy. And currently we have President Biden. Whether you like him or not, people will probably revert to that if there is social anxiety. Okay, well, that's good to know. What would another high-tax, high-spend president look like compared to whatever options are out there? Okay. There's also economic instability. So I work in tech, and I have a day job in tech, and with a focus on ads and monetizing media. And if advertisers aren't spending money, well, then my job isn't really as needed because there's no need for me to improve something that's already dead or not functioning high. So maybe we need it for a rainy day for our personal bank. And at the end of the day, you don't really know. You can just do your best foot forward. You can just roll a dice, make your best estimate on where we should be putting this cash. And since there's no obvious out, there's no obvious need, having it handy for the, I think it's the right call. Now, you don't want to have a heavy cash position in the long run because the goal is to have cash where it ends. And it's tough because you look at very wealthy investors, like, we'll just go with Warren Buffett. You think he had like 150 billion in cash, like a fifth of his net worth is in cash, just doing nothing. I'm like, okay, well, that's intriguing. But then you have other folks that are heavily using a lot of their cash that are also very wealthy. You have like the Main Street investor like me who can be in cash and that I want to be in the market a ton when it can happen. And you don't really know. I'll get to the point. You don't really know. You don't know the best for a thing. People are saying real estate's going to go up, real estate's going to go down. Interest rates are going up because of this. Interest rates are going down because of that. Buying a business is risky because of economic uncertainty. The best thing to do because it protects you from others. People will have opposing opinions, and if everyone was agreed upon, then there'd be no deals or strategy or risk to be made. Probably the one thing people ever want bank on, they're going to wake up tomorrow and live another. And so no one's going to be telling you that that's not going to happen unless your life. Right now, all we know is we own the studio. My wife has a day job, which she is probably one of the most stable day jobs out there. I've got a day job, but it's pretty stable, but not as stable. We've got 3 kids, which is fantastic. We'd like to have a 4th. Okay, that's good to know. We've got a home. Okay, that's good to know. We're looking to acquire a 2nd studio in a month and a half. Okay, well, that's going to spread out our risk a little bit, but also spread out our upside. Okay, good to know. How can we position ourselves to be in the best position a year from now with this surplus of cash? And it's not like it's an insane amount of cash. It's probably 2 months, maybe 3 months of expenses. I mean, that is a lot. I don't want to act like that's not a lot. Most Americans, what is it? There's a crazy stat I was rereading. Like 70% of Americans are one paycheck away from not being able to afford things. So like, yeah, 3 months of expenses, 2 months of expenses. That's huge. That is awesome. A bad month, we could totally wipe that out. Not gonna lie. If we had a pandemic and there was no government relief, like 1 month of a pandemic and like that bonus, owning a business way riskier. Because when we're upside, oh man, there's a lot of downside too. So it all matters what you're comparing yourself against. What's your time horizon? What's your alternative plan B, both the income and the expense side? Hopefully this has been a valuable episode. I feel like I'm just kind of murmuring, but it's just, when I look at my peers, I look at my neighbors, I look at what my friends do and what folks are doing with their options. It's so easy to see like, oh, this is so easy. We can go on vacation, upgrading a vehicle, buying a house. Like we could do a lot. And probably the best thing right now is to just hang tight with it because we're expanding into our business building. We don't know what that market looks like. We don't know what our current market looks like. We still have a month of challenge push sales left. We have probably like 6 leads come in just this morning, and it's only 8 o'clock. And so I think preparing for what we're going to do with this cash, the plan stays the same. The volume of the bonus changes things a little bit, but knowing, okay, if I won the lottery of $1,000, what would I do with it? $10,000, what would I do with it? $100,000, what would I do with that? $1 million if I won the lottery, what would I do with it? And just having a pencil idea in my head helps so that now when this surge of cash comes in, it's like, okay, I'm not going to be overwhelmed by it. I'm not going to make a stupid decision. I'm going to buy something that I'm going to regret. I now know exactly, okay, follow the plan. What was the plan before? If it was $1,000, okay, I can do this. 10,000, I can do this. I know exactly where it's going to go. I know what the plan is going to be. Sure, it's a little bit of second guessing because there's all these things I'm comparing myself against. But zoom out. Really, what am I going to be grateful for a year from now using today's wad of cash? I'd be grateful for buying that second location, confidently approaching the landlord, saying I'm going to buy your commercial building, confidently talking to my staff, saying here's the sales move we're going to make, confidently saying here's some of the offerings we're going to make to our studio members. Here's we're going to be offering a very high ticket program, mid ticket, low ticket. And if it's flops and we're down in revenue, this cash helps cushion the mistake of that experiment. And that's what the point of today's episode basically is. I'm sorry I'm taking forever to get to the point. But have a plan in place. If this happens, do this. If this happens, do this. If this happens, do this. And don't rely on the plan, but rely on following through on the plan, that you've thought it through, that you're now not reacting to life circumstances, but you're able to confidently step into the decisions you've made. That's where we're at. That's where we're going. Time to execute the game plan. Let's rock and roll. Let's go buy a business. Let's go do this thing.
This has been another episode of the Business Buyer Diaries. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I hope you're realizing that business ownership is no cakewalk. Check the podcast notes for a link to the DIY due diligence program, the complete list of show sponsors, and for media inquiries. Music written and composed by Wes Schrock. I'm your host, Nathan Platter. Join me again on the next one.